Hi, in this video we will cover passage types in the SAT reading section in more details. So let's start.
These are the four major passage types that come in the SAT reading section, and all four of them are listed below. Let's check out each of the passage type in more detail. Number one is fiction or US and world literature. Now, these includes prose fiction texts, both contemporary, which means new, and classic by American and international authors. These texts may be intact short stories or passages from novels and short stories written by authors working in the 18th, 19th, 20th, and the 21st century. The author, the book name, and other details are shared above the passage, which helps the reader to identify the passage easily. Now, I know it may feel like a lot of detail, but let's look at a sample passage. Now, this is a sample passage. At the top, we have two lines which introduce the passage to us. So it is written, this passage is adapted from Edith Wharton's Ethan Frame, originally published in 1911. Matty Silver is Ethan's household employee. So this introduction tells us about the author's name, the book name, and the date of publication. It also gives us some information about the character which will be in focus during the passage. All of this information helps us to first identify which type of passage it is and then to read this passage in a better way. Moving forward, the second type is social science passages. Now, social sciences passages deal with information and ideas drawn from the fields of anthropology, communication studies, economics, education, human geography, law, linguistics, political science, psychology, and sociology and their various subfields. Social science passages will sometimes include graphics or pairs of messages. If graphics are included, we will be asked to determine the relationship between the graphic. And if there is a pair of passages, then we will have to analyze how these two paired passages are related to each other. Let's see a sample. So we have a passage followed by a graphic. And before the passage, you also have an introductory sentence which tells us more about the passage itself. So it tells us about the author name and the book name. Since this is non-fiction, we don't need any introduction to characters or the time period itself. So the third type is historic documents or great global conversations. These passages include classic and contemporary, which means new, texts by American and international authors who are grappling with political, legal, social, moral, and ethical issues in an attempt to answer a simple but profound question: how should we live together? Founding documents and great global conversation texts may also appear in pairs. In that case, you will have to analyze the relationship between the two pairs. Let's see a sample. Since this is a historic speech that was delivered by an important person, we are told the name of the person, we are told about the date that this speech was given, and we are also given some context about the speech itself. This information helps us to construe information in a better way when we're reading the passage itself. So whenever you have this type of a passage, make sure that you read the introduction at the top with a lot of attention. Moving forward, so the last type is the science passages, and these include passages that deal with information and ideas drawn from biology, chemistry, physics, and earth science, and their various subfields. Passages may discuss recent discoveries, interesting hypotheses and theories, and innovative research studies and methods. Science passages will sometimes include graphics or a pair of passages. Questions will ask you to determine the relationship between the graphic or to analyze how two paired passages relate to one another. So let's look at a sample. Here we have a pair of passages. So the passage one is adapted from Susan Milius's book, A Different Kind of Smart, and passage two is adapted from Bern Heinrich's book, Mind of a Raven, Investigations and Adventures with the Wolf Birds. Now, usually when we have a pair of passages, it's usually about a single topic, but both of the passages represent a particular point of view about that topic. So when you're answering questions, you have to be mindful of the fact that one author may have a certain point of view and the other author might have a different point of view. And you have to answer the questions in light of these facts. So these were the four major passage types and their samples. In the next video, we will cover question types. See you in the next video.